Hello, Ponderers. We're back.
Hi.
Hey, look who we drug out from the pond.
Hi,
Cyrus
everybody.
Goodwin. Look, Tim Post, thank you for joining us. We're very excited. We're excited
Thank you.
to meet the new cast.
Yes.
I was excited that you said yes, that you would join us. I was like, yes, I
Oh, I'm
can't
thrilled to
wait.
be here.
All right.
That
And
was
we're
an intriguing introductory scenes.
yes.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we're really invested even more in what's happening in this little 1814 version of Port Haven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. So, Tim,
Yeah.
tell me, how many spoilers are you going to give us? No, I know
None.
you're giving us
None.
none.
I
Do you
will
hear
try
that?
my very best. It's going to be so hard, but
No,
try my
we'll help you out. We're good like
okay.
that. We don't want spoilers either. Even though I don't know our guests, they're coming in. So as they're coming in, it's fluctuating. I think we already have 91. It takes like a minute for them to all get here, and I know that they're going to want spoilers. People are already saying hi to you as we're getting in.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. And Tony, she's here. And Keith.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Hi, Keith.
Most of the people that are joining us are also on our fan page. So we have a fan page that's for the show. And it started out with, I don't know, like, a few hundred. And by the time season 1 was finished, we had 8,000. Did we have 8,000?
Wow.
And by
Since
and by the end
Fantastic.
of by the end of episode 2, we're up to over 11,000.
Right.
we get like 1,000 a week or not even. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my goodness,
Yeah.
this is cute. This is just something fun. Where was she? She went away that
Nina?
fast.
Oh, Sherry.
Sherry Post said her son's name is Tim Post.
Oh, Cherry Boast. There's so few of us. I'm
I
glad to
love
meet you.
it. It's a good name. It's a
It
good
is.
name. Sheffer. I gave away who our other guest was. He's here, but he's waiting. He has to wait a few minutes. All right. So Tim, tell us about Cyrus Goodwin. We saw him in the middle of 1814 in the town. What is the name of that town? Is it what
Port
is it?
Haven?
Port
I think
Haven
it's
from
Port Haven still back then.
it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a general store sign that said the
Yeah.
point on it. And
Okay.
what would that be? Is that just the name of the store or does the point mean something?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm
So it's
sure it will be revealed.
all right. Oh, okay, it is. I just thought it was just the name of on the general store. I didn't know if it was like another town or if we were in Port Haven.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in 1814.
Tim?
And we
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, can you tell us, just kind of from the beginning, how did you even get involved with The Way Home?
Oh, an audition came through, and it's John Buchan and Jason Knight who do the Canadian casting, and I've always had a great relationship with them, and they've always sent me great stuff. And I read through the audition, and you really catch good writing very quickly on audition.
Yes.
Because, oops, I'm sorry, you have a short time to prepare, and good writing, you remember the lines really easily. And this was very easy for me to remember the lines. And the way they spoke in the 1800s also has a certain rhythm and certain turns of phrase that are very attractive and fun to speak. So I put myself on tape and sent it out. And then a little while later, I was pinned, which is the term that means they're interested. And then happily, I got the part. I had to wait a
Cool.
bit though, actually, to film from when I got the part. So I think there was at least a month or so before I filmed,
And
which is good because, pardon me?
no, I didn't mean to step on you. Go ahead. There's a little delay.
No, I was just saying for those sideburns, it gave me a chance to grow a beard. Linda from Hair and Makeup asked me if I could grow a beard because they would rather use my real hair for the sideburns because it looks better on camera. And I grew a beard and I went in prior to shooting with Patrice Baudreau, who's in the hair and makeup department as well. And they just started taking off bits and pieces till we found out exactly what worked. So yeah, it was all my hair, but then Patrice would finesse it before filming. He'd always just like do little touches to make it perfect. So it was good. There was a little delay for me because got to get real hair.
Okay. Now, does it take a while? Do you everything? Okay, you got your real hair, and then you have a beautiful costume. Like you have a gorgeous hat, and it looks like you've got money. You're not like the average guy of the town.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what's it like when you're putting on all the costumes? Does it take a while, or is it just easy
Well,
putting it?
I went in for a few different fittings with the costume department, and they were very specific and the color palette and how they wanted the jacket to hang on me,
Hmm.
how high the collar was, and they showed me the reference picture they were using, and I think they really achieved it because when I put on the costume, it certainly informs what I'm doing, and the top hat, it makes me feel uh, fairly powerful and stand a little
Yes.
straighter when the costume was on. But the costume was actually surprisingly comfortable.
So without sharing anything that you can't share, obviously,
Yeah.
did they give you just here's the name of your character and here's the dialogue, or did they give you any backstory or any indication of where the character's heading? Do you already know all that?
They give you it's not so much a backstory as they give you aspects of who this guy is. They did give me some background that he essentially ran the town and was a very successful rich entrepreneur, and it seemed like he saw himself as sort of the mayor and the police officer, the king of the
Okay.
town, and could be
Yeah.
very charming and very diplomatic when necessary, but also could be very ruthless in trying to achieve what he wants and protecting what he thinks is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
More intrigue.
We have
yeah,
we have some questions for you,
yeah,
Tim.
yeah.
So, let's see. This is funny. A lot of people are asking this, so I'm just going to go with Barbara. We need to know how tall you are because you look like you're 7 feet tall when you were standing next to Kat.
Well, not quite 7, but I am fairly tall. I'm 6'4".
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
And Wendy, well, you know what? That means you're not just wearing the average costume. They're creating and sewing that costume for you, aren't they?
They essentially made that costume from scratch for me. Yeah.
What
The
about the
shirt
shoes?
may have been pre-existing, but the vest and definitely the jacket was made
Okay.
from scratch. The jacket is a beautiful, beautiful jacket. It's actually super comfortable and super light to wear. Yeah.
Did they have to do custom boots for you as well?
No, those boots were around. They fit like a glove. I just tried them on the first fitting, and yeah, they were perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Did you have to learn any skills for your character? Like learn how to ride a horse or how to shoot a gun, a
Um,
pistol,
there.
Or,
Well,
or
how can I?
swim?
or swim?
I'm sorry. Yes, I did, and that's part of the conversation, but I can't tell you because it was.
That's okay. That's all right, but we know we have
Yeah.
something to look forward to. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wendy says, had you watched the show prior to auditioning?
I had not. I had not. And when I got the part, I binge watched the entire first season, and it's a really, really good show. So I was nervous. I became more nervous after watching the first season because you can tell that the people who are in the show deeply care about the show and they're
Yes,
invested. And I find that the acting is another level up.
it is.
I do really find that the level of vulnerability that the characters showed and honesty, and also just all the twists and turns as well. But yeah, I was very, very impressed by the first season. So I wanted to go in there and do the best I could. So I was very nervous to do a good job.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jan wants to know, can we ask, will we see more of Tim throughout the season?
Yes.
We know you will. We kind of can tell because of the previews that Hallmark themselves have put out. So it's safe to say yes.
I don't think that's a spoiler, I guess.
No,
No.
it's not. I wouldn't
I-
let you do that. I wouldn't ruin that. We want you to be able to come back. We're
yeah.
not gonna we want you to come back. I have a question
Mm.
about the scenes. I mean, about the setting. So where exactly so we know we had a guest on before, she lives in the area. And in the summer, she was taking pictures and telling us how, oh, they're here, they're filming, whatnot. But what about where it looked like it was like its own little space? Is your scene, were your scenes filmed in the same area as the scenes of when they're in present time, or was it something different?
There are a couple of locations that are quite close together, which
Okay.
is really super. I don't want to say which ones, but we did have to
Okay.
travel for a number of the other locations. There's Olingamore has already been shown, right? So
Yes. Yep.
that we had to travel for that,
Okay.
and a couple other things upcoming. But there are a few sets that are relatively close together. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that answers questions. People are like, this is a cute one, a funny question. It's just questions like, were you connected to the house that we saw in present time? And you're answering that, which is good. What's Jillian saying? I think it's safe to say we'll be spending some time in the 1800s. Yes. We definitely
It
will.
is safe to say, yeah.
Yeah. And then as I'm talking to you, people are saying, we have an ad. There's an ad that's interrupting the podcast. I do not know why an ad is interrupting the podcast. So I will have to fix that, Kathy. I'm going to have to mute after we say goodbye to Tim. Not yet. And you have to just carry on without me. Can you do that?
I don't know if I have that skill.
You do. Now, Tim, tell me what it's like to work with your partners. So, we met Sue, the actress who plays Susanna, and we'll talk more about her later on when Kathy and I are recapping. And also Thomas Coyle, Chris, is that his first name?
Yeah.
Did you have a connection with any of them, or were you all new to each other?
Chris Holden Reed, I was already a fan of.
Oh,
Yeah, I was a fan of his work. And Watson Rose, I had not met, but now I'm a fan of her work after watching her do this. I can't really say how much we interact, but I've certainly witnessed what they do. And they're both tremendously gifted actors. There's Chris Holden Reed has a playfulness about him as an actor and a looseness, which is really wonderful. And Watson Rose has a super grounded, still quality that's so lovely for Suzanne.
oh, cool.
And then Kyler Lee, of course, is fantastic.
She's amazing. I know
She's
she is amazing.
She's
I love period pieces. So I'm loving this aspect of the show.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until we get to learn more about you and your character and more about what's going on,
Me
because
too.
it looks like a delicious mystery. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We want you to come back after this season is over, so we can
It would
talk
be
more
my pleasure
openly
to come
about
back.
what
Yeah.
happened and more about whatever we're going to learn about your character in the next
Yeah.
several episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're coming back, right? You
I
know what?
definitely
We
promise.
wouldn't ask you that on air if you didn't already say you were. We wouldn't do that to you.
Okay.
But we're looking forward to it. Thank you for
Yeah.
like spending time with us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And I just want to let you know that my experience on the show has just been wonderful. It is like a family atmosphere, and everyone is supportive and loving and fun. And I just had a great time. It's been one of the highlights of my career.
Oh, we
Well,
love it.
we're glad. As I told Tim when he first joined us, it was so nice to see him smile, because he on the show you can tell he's going to be kind of a stern character,
It's a little mean,
And then when I
maybe.
look for his images online, he was very serious. So I'm
Very
saying
serious.
you're a happy fella too.
I am.
You know what? I always do this. I always say, okay, get out, you're leaving. And then I have more questions. And I forgot we wanted to talk about this. First of all, Jillian saying the acting is so great in this show. It really is. I mean, it's
From
like,
everybody.
it's not like B acting. It's
Mhm.
like phenomenal.
The
It's
stakes
just
are very high. The emotional
Yes.
stakes are very high, and people have to be very vulnerable and honest in what they're doing.
Yes. Now, we had talked about this already because the camera zeroes in on your ring, and
Yeah.
they wanted to know what exactly is it? Is it a G that they see? Is
It
that
is a
what
G.
we're looking?
It is a G. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Like the Goodwin crest? Is that what it is? Because
I
you're a
can
Goodwin.
say no more.
Oh no, okay. I know. But we do know that you're a Goodwin because it
Yeah,
said your
yeah.
name and we have that. So okay,
Okay.
that's
Well, then
perfect.
yes, it is.
Well, I have a question then that
Yeah.
this isn't a spoiler. I'm sorry. Does that mean something? Is there going to be meaning behind it? Is that why you can't say anymore? Should we be
I
paying
think that
attention?
anytime the camera stops on a particular
Yeah.
item,
Pretty good clue.
it's best to pay attention to it.
Yes, thank you. You're correct. This is what we always say when they zero in on something. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Tim. Well,
Thank
you're
you
going to
so
come
much,
back.
Tim.
You're
Yes,
gonna
thank you. It's been a
come back.
huge pleasure. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, friends. So our next guest, I was all excited when I saw him come in, and then he just set up his camera and everything. Our next guest is Jefferson Brown, and you have asked for him to be our guest so many times. Oh, he hears us, and we're so excited. Everyone's like going crazy, writing little comments and whatnot. And I'm going to add you now.
All right.
Hello.
There it is.
How are you?
Hey, folks. How you doing, Roxanne? Hello, Kathy.
Hi. And now that Jefferson is here, everybody else get out.
I brought my entourage, guys. Now you gotta be on your best behavior.
Oh, you know what, Jefferson? We're having a hard time hearing you. It's like you're distant. Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you have ear things in, like, or no? He's getting himself all organized. Look, oh my goodness, they're going. See?
See if this helps.
Oh,
Is
yes.
That's
We hear you.
perfect.
We can hear you. We just can't see.
that
you.
better?
Oh, my.
Yes. Perfect. We
Right.
hear you. So wait, I have to tell you, Kathy, let me say this, okay? You're going to see in the comments a nickname. Have you watched any of our stuff? Have you watched any of our other? Okay.
I haven't.
Kathy has a nickname for you. Are we
Oh.
allowed to share it? Because people are going to write it and we have to tell them. It's not a bad nickname. It's a fabulous nickname.
There's no such thing as, well, I guess there are some bad names. I don't think Kathy would have me on her podcast if you gave me a bad nickname.
No, because you're Alice's grandpa, but you're not really a grandpa. So I started calling you Grandpa Hunky.
Grandpa Hunky, they're using it. So you're Grandpa Hunky.
I'll take it. Yeah.
And I have to tell you, all last season, everyone's like, can't you have Jefferson on? Can't you? And I'm like, well, we'll reach out. You were busy. And I'm like, I'll try again. And so when we got the news, I was like, Kathy, Grandpa Hunky's coming on. We didn't tell anybody. We said it was a surprise. So
Oh, that's excellent.
I
That's how
know
we
you have a
disassembled a
lot of
little
fans,
Yeah.
lots and lots of fans.
It's wonderful. It's such a wonderful feeling to know that, that people watch the show and they appreciate the work that you do on a show. And yeah, it's lovely.
Some of us appreciate the work you've done previously too. Some of us have followed you along, as you've done your body of work.
Yes. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's I'm often surprised. I've every once in a while you're in the grocery store and somebody recognizes you from a past job or the present job. And I have to sort of wait a second to see if are we family? Like, how do you know me at all? I'm a Canadian actor. You guys don't understand. It's like, I could rob a bank and no one would recognize me, but I'm not doing that. I'm not.
No.
But it's lovely. It's great. I really enjoy the response has been really fantastic.
Look at the cute things that everyone's saying. So Barbara's saying the character Colton is the best on-screen husband ever.
Is that because he's dead? I mean, in all honesty.
With this show, we never know who's really dead. Who might be just hanging out.
I mean, that could just be this
1920 or something.
That's just the story we're selling you, Kathy.
Yes, we know. Yeah. We know. Cindy's saying, I can't even explain my happiness right now.
It's mutual, Cindy.
Aw. And Robin's saying, welcome, Jefferson. So awesome for you to join us. Thank you.
You're welcome, Robin.
And Christine's like, oh my, he has hair of glory.
Yes, he's got the mane of glory.
No, I can't take all the credit for that. That's a lot of Harold and Alice Brown there. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
And look, Lucy says, great actor you are. They're just showing you some love.
so much love.
They are. Okay. Now we can start off with a really good question. Well, first of all, I'm curious, what drew you to the actual, wanting to be a part of the show?
Whoa, this is I it gives me kind of like little goosebumps whenever I think about
Ooh,
those moments. In a career where certain roles come along and you just sort of light to it really quick. And I had the pleasure of working on the show Good Witch, another Hallmark
yes.
series.
We love that. Yes.
And yes, it was a wonderful time, a wonderful experience when I was on it. And originally, when I read for that role, I had been given the breakdowns for these two new characters that were going to be introduced in the second season, Ben and another character. And they wanted me to read for this other character. And as I was reading through, I read Ben, and I automatically just said, no, I'm Ben. I'm not this other guy. I'm Ben. And so I read for that, and it went really great. And that was like the only other time where I had this feeling where I had the breakdown. I got an audition. You get to the breakdown, which is like sort of the character descriptions and ages and relationships to whoever. And you read through it. And sometimes it's silly. Sometimes it doesn't add a whole lot of help. And then you get to the storyline. And in the storyline, I read that it's a story about a girl in New Brunswick named Alice with a grandmother named Dell. And I flipped. I was born in New Brunswick. My mother's name is Alice, and her mother's name was Dell.
Oh my gosh.
So as soon as I saw that it was happening in New Brunswick, I'm like, oh, I want to do it. And then I read the first name, the character of Alice, and then I read that she had a grandmother named Dell. I'm like, I feel like somebody hacked into my family tree.
Yeah.
And I was eventually just going to read for the role of Jefferson. But I read that, and I started reading through the character breakdown. I'm like, I need this. I want this. This is me. This is him. I'm him. He's me. There's so many overlapping characteristics and traits. And one of the things that I really loved was that in the description, it spoke of how his best intentions led to sort of this not collapsing, but almost this like a negative response in regards to the family, like this secrecy and everything. And I'm a father of two, and I'm a husband of one, and I try my best to be the best of both those roles, and I take those roles extremely seriously. And I connected with the fallibility of Colton more than I think anything else. The struggle, the idea of presenting or trying to be the best version these people need in their lives, but just being human, and we so often will fall short regardless of our best intentions. And I read that, and I was like, I don't even know if I need to read the lines. I feel like I know what he would say. And then I got to the end of the character breakdown, and it said plays guitar and sings in the around the family homestead. And I'm like, well, whoever gets this is going to have a great role.
Because you don't sing and you don't play the guitar.
I got my first experience on stage at university in a musical. I played, I think, the only character. I mean, I think what they did is they're like, he seems like he really wants to do this. Let's give him the role that sings the least and dances the least, and he'll be happy. And I was. But I love singing. I never played guitar. But I enjoy performing. I get a buzz out of it. but I'm going to just, hopefully we can get past this, ladies. That's not my voice singing. I sang on the day. It's kind of like one of those things though too, where it's like, well, you know, it's not all those guys doing the back flips and the kicks and the punches and all those other like action movies either, right? So that was my stunt, and sadly I'm not Tom Cruise and I don't do all my own stunts. But it was just, yeah, I got the role. They looked past that, and I couldn't be happier. And you know, the rest is history.
It was meant to be, and
It was meant to be.
Because a lot of times the actors don't sing or play. I mean, more not than do when we have big movies and whatnot. So I think nowadays they could just fix that, you know?
Yeah. No, we didn't have time for any kind of a guide track, so I didn't have a chance to pre-record or do any of that. Yeah. So you know, we were shooting and doing the best we could with what we had, and they were able to fix me in post.
It was good.
Did you, speaking of post, we just had on Tim Post who mentioned that you two did a commercial together years ago.
We did. That's where we first met.
Did you know any of the other members of the cast previously?
I knew, well, I mean, I knew Chris, whom he also spoke of, Chris Oldenreed. But in regards to the cast from season 1, I knew Kim Huffman, who played my therapist in the grief support group. I didn't know her personally. Sorry, I didn't know her personally. I don't want to start a rumor. I was a fan, as both an actor and a young man, of Kim's. That's about it. She was in our show Traders, and that was sort of like, I was a big fan of the show Traders here in Canada, and she was wonderful in that. So when I had the opportunity to actually share a screen with her, I was really quite.
You know what? I just popped into my head, and it really doesn't have anything to do with The Way Home, but we'll get right back to it. I have to tell you, I am a massive Murdoch mystery fan. Okay, so much so that every summer I have to watch. And you know, it's the second longest running show in Canada. So I got to go all the way back to the first
seasons.
Yes, we're in 17th, right? 17, yeah, season 17.
Yeah,
and you have a phenomenal part in season 17.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You were running around in that get up and being Mr. Guru of life. Yeah. It was great. It was so great.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Working with them was a great deal of fun. And it was a trip. That was actually my second appearance on the show.
When was your first?
Well, that'll be your mystery to find out.
I will go. I'm pretty good with that. I'm gonna have to go back.
You're gonna have to go back. No one tell her. No one tell her.
I won't. I called Kathy.
Kathy, don't you dare tell her. Kathy.
She went off Way Home topic for a moment, so I'm gonna do it too. Just briefly.
Please.
Do you remember a movie you did a few years ago called Please Kill Mr. Know-It-All?
Do I remember it? Of course.
Can you please, as a special favor to me, do a sequel to that? Because that's so good. And I
enjoyed it?
Those characters. Everybody in that, there were 4 of you, and everybody was fabulous in it. Funny. Oh my gosh.
LJ was great. Billy McClellan, they're all fantastic. That was a lot of fun.
I can't remember her. I can't pronounce her last name. Laura Jean.
Korostecki.
Korostecki. Yes. Everybody was fabulous.
Yeah. No, that was like a lightning in a bottle moment. We were just sort of running around like, I don't know if this is going to work. And then, through the magic, like they had faith, and Sandra had faith, and everybody just, it came together. I was like, this is fantastic. A lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching that.
Yes.
I watched it all the time. I bought the movie. It was so good.
Wow.
She's a big fan. So cool. I want to click on what I had starred. First of all, Tony and a lot of people were saying this, but the story you were telling, they were like, the story was goosebump worthy. They loved it.
It made no sense. Yeah.
It did. It made sense.
But I mean, for this to have happened, for that breakdown to come across my desk, with this character as an opportunity, that possibility, and the names just, it was just, we laughed. I told my mom about it and we just howled.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at some of the things that they were asking, and one of the things they want to know is from season 1. What would be your favorite scene that you did, or what part of season 1 was your favorite?
Well, as an actor, as this actor,
Mm-hmm.
the work that I got to do in 8 and 9, the grief support group, the riding in the truck with Kyler, just the little, like the connections that I could have with Sadie, with the guitar in the living room, or New Year's night when they come home and
Yeah, that was tough.
I get to have that moment where I get to say thank you for being there for my daughter, because he knows that he hasn't been, and it felt like as much fun as the job is, and it really is the greatest job in the world to do what I do and to do it with who I get to do it with. Those moments feel so cathartic in a way, but it's not therapeutic in that sense, but there is an honesty and a sort of a centralizing, like a soul, you get to mine and sort of dig and prospect this, you get to strip away the sort of the social shell that you might have on your day to day, and look at somebody and say really honest words that are so wonderfully written that you can't help but hear them when you say them. And it touches, it just really sort of hits you in the bones. So having the opportunity to do that, though it's not all, farts and giggles, it does sort of give you that juice.
Yeah. Cool. Love it. Over here is Mickey, and she has a comment for you. It says, "Thank you so much for being here. Your facial expressions speak volumes. You say so much with your eyes, adding so much depth to the emotion in your scenes."
Well, that's very kind. That's fun. I think there's something to be said about, saying less can speak volumes, and I've got a loud face.
And Cindy says, "If you could time travel, where would you like to go?"
Oof. Where would I like to go? When would I like to go? I don't know. I don't think I have an answer for that. I got an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I can't miss any of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's right here, right now is where I want to be, because they're growing up so fast. And if I could time travel, it's like, I don't know, I'd go maybe last time the 4 of us had, fall down laughter, giggle fit. That would be those are the best times. I mean, I would love, I think in regards to the show, I'd love to go back and see my grandfather. I never met my mom's dad. So it would be interesting to pop a squat with him and chew the rag a bit, but I don't know. I think I'm living in a pretty great time right now.
Yeah, I feel that way too. What about you, Kathy? Would you like to go back in time?
No,
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think anything would be served.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Lucy is saying those are amazing scenes. Loved it. And those scenes that you were talking about prior, that they were beautiful. Oh, the one with you and Kyler when you're laying in the road. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
She's
she is
phenomenal. And it was sad. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, she's just such she's an incredible person. She's a wonderful human.
Mm-hmm.
and then to get into a scene with her, you best be present, because you know she is there, you know, with every fiber of her being. She is giving everything she has for the scene. So she's an inspiration. I didn't know her. I mean, I'd seen her work on Grey's, but I didn't know her personally. And then when I met her, I was kind of like, oh, she probably has like some negative attitude about working in Canada, and you know, maybe she sees that as below herself. Or she is, you know, she's awesome. She's her and Andy are both so wonderful to have at the top of the call sheet, because you know they're going to be professional. You know they're going to be ready to work and enjoy the work, which is nice.
Do you actually watch the show?
I do.
So when you're doing scenes with David Webster, young Elliot,
Yes.
for example, great scenes just this past week. When you're doing those scenes, does what you've seen of the adult character inform how you interact with the younger character?
No. I'm a huge fan of David and Evans. I mean, I think the work they do in playing the same character is really lovely to see. But I try to be present. The writing is so good that you're interacting with Elliot. You know what I mean? It's
Gotcha.
Elliot that you're dealing with, and so, you know, and not to take away from how good those two guys are, but it's very, there's no difference in a way. You know, it's they've been able to find a very nice sort of rhythm and shared tempo that it becomes you know, I know who he is, or I know, you know, what he becomes from watching the show. And I watch Evan. I'm a fan of his work as well. But, you know, I like the fact that I work with the younger version. So it's kind of like the original, you know, I get to work with the original, and then Evan's like 2.0 or something.
It's really nice to see the two characters bonding. I'm glad that they really showed that. I don't know if they're going to show any more of that, but just seeing, you know, the scenes from Sunday, I just think they were beautifully acted, and it really showed us, the audience, or at least me, some of why adult Elliot is the way he is, and how he reacts to the family and to situations about the family. So that was fabulous.
Yeah, no, and I think those were some of the nice moments through watching the show. I mean, if I'm, you know, I'll do the script reads, and often if I'm doing that, I may have a number of pages before my character sort of arrives or comes back or whatever, and I'm making dinner at the same time as trying to do the reading, so I might step away from the mic. And so when I watch the show, a lot of what's happening without me, and you know, whenever somebody talks your name, it's like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. But I think what you saw in first season, what you see happening in the first couple of episodes of 2, I think there's a lot of there'll be some exploration of the relationships.
Good.
You sort of get to see you get to see through the Colton Elliot stuff.
I love the two. They have a good chemistry together, the two of you. You and David. We met him. He's been on. We'll have him on again. But it's good. It's really good. Every time I watch it, I'm like, God, this is so good.
Yeah. No, I often I can be a pretty harsh critic of my own work, but I'm endlessly impressed with the fact that I get to work with such talented people. And so when my wife and I finish an episode, we just sort of look at each other and it's like,
what was that?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Or she'll look at me after a scene, she's like, that was pretty good. I'm like, I'll take it.
as opposed to this group. So there are about 11,000 of us who watch the episode and then spend the next week analyzing and
Oh,
overthinking and looking at every single glance and expression and
I
looking for
listened.
Easter eggs.
You listened?
I'll read, on Twitter, what it's called now. I'll read it, and there's some fabulous, some truly fabulous theories out there, and I'm just like, yeah, that would be cool. Or,
I know.
wow, let's make that show. That sounds like a good show too.
We have 11,000 people on our fan page, and it just grew 1,000 in a week, and people love it so much, but not everybody sees it at the same time.
Right.
So what we have this side chat, and anybody could get into it. And if you get into it, you know what you're getting into.
Right. So spoilers abound.
Yes,
This is
yeah. And then when this is over and it's Wednesday, like at midnight, I will allow people to put their posts on the news feed, because now it's fair game and we're talking about, whatever. And we have the hashtag ponderers, because it's from the pond, you're pondering.
Yeah.
Theories and every little symbol and every little thing. They're right now trying to ask questions that we are not going to answer because they will become spoilers. So
right.
They love it. Robin, I had this up when you were talking about how you want to live now. You like it now. She's like, yes, live in the moment for sure, is the way to go. And they love it. And someone wanted to know, have you ever been to the US? And if so, where?
Yeah, I've been to the US many times. Where? Well, I've driven to LA 3 or 4 times.
Okay, that makes sense because you're there. Yeah.
And I've been, I've been all over. I love the country. Where are you, Roxanne?
Me, I'm in South Jersey. So
South Jersey, okay.
Southern part, 30 minutes from Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And it's called the Hub. So we're like about 35 minutes from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm like centrally located there. We're a little small town.
And Kathy, where are you?
I'm in Illinois, little village called Woodridge.
Woodridge, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, how'd you guys meet? I got questions for you.
That's okay. So for another show that we are obsessed and possessed with, or were, she's not, I still am. We're not even going to get into that. Okay. So we have a fan page, and I always would do these recaps and analysis by myself. And I found that Kathy wrote something that I thought, oh my gosh, this woman is so intelligent, and she paid attention. I was like, yay. So I said, would you come on my podcast? And it took her forever to find it because we weren't friends. And she found the message and she goes, I'd love to. So she came on. And I cannot tell you, like, I got emails that said, please, please, please have her back, have her back. So I said, do you want to do this again? And she said, yes. And then it just grew from there.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yes, here we are.
This one, and then we do one for Republic of Doyle on Thursdays. Yeah, we love that show.
Yeah.
I have this theory that the key to everything in The Way Home is this black horse that we keep seeing.
Oh.
So, Roxanne, I want you to see if you can get the horse on.
Okay. And I want to get
some answers.
Finn, you know what? I do want to ask you this question. The dog, have you had, like, on set, have you met the dog? Like, is there a handler?
You know what? I approached the dog, and then I was told, no, the dog will not be taking visitors. And then the dog went to his trailer, and then it went out for hours, and then he was making all sorts of outrageous demands. And I'm like, you know what?
Dog is
I think it's best that him and I just don't mingle, because he sounds like a handful, and I don't want to be guilt by association. So no, Finn and I've never met the dog, but I've heard stories.
I wanted to actually, because people ask about this dog all the time, but at least have like the handler on or the owner. And I've interviewed a dog before for the movie.
He's not talking about me.
Tales of Love. and it was a Chris McNally, Brittany Bristow movie, and there was a dog that was in it, and the owner and the handler, they came on. The dog came on too. The dog smiled when she told her to smile. It was hilarious, and it
Fantastic.
was so exciting. People had like thousands of questions for her, so I was like, we have to see if we can get Finn to pop on or whatever.
You
Finn.
know, I'll put in a word. I mean, he
Okay.
doesn't.
I
You know, it
know.
has to go through management, and you
Okay.
know, yeah.
Yeah. PM, I don't know who PM is, but she says you were an awesome actor, Jefferson, 100%. And I have seen you in so many movies and shows.
Thank
I,
you, PM.
I know.
How do you know? Oh, who's that?
Go
Oh,
ahead. What you're
I
gonna
was
say?
going to say, how did you know that was a female? You said she said.
I feel like I do know who PM is.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, and I think her name is Pat, and I could be wrong. So it could be a gentleman or a they, them. I don't know who it is.
I appreciate your comment.
Kimberly is saying, I love your relationship with Elliot and how much you mean to him, like a father figure.
Yeah, the Elliot stuff. You know, as a like I say, as a father, as a husband, and you know, I think there's so often we see ourselves as being these somewhat solo travelers of this world, and I think a lot of people could use a hand once in a while and help, and are afraid to ask for it. And I've always thought that the Colton Elliot relationship is, you know, he sees someone who needs something, and he's going to just offer the help without waiting for him to be asked for it.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
One of the dynamics I really like about the family, the Landrys, past Landrys, is I think it goes against the norm, maybe a little bit. I could be wrong on that, but that it seems like Colton's the heart of the family, and Dell is more the brains.
Yeah.
He's more practical. He's
Yeah.
more emotional. And I would love it if they had a storyline at some point where somebody goes back in the past and we see how young Dell and young Colton met and even got together. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be, I would love to see that story play out. I'd love to play that story. But it would be it's always fascinating to sort of go back to the origin story, as it were.
Yeah.
This superhero team of Colton and Dell. Yeah, no, I've often saw that's the dynamic of the couple. Kathy was the sort of the heart and the brains, and you know, Colton's the sort of the dreamer of the group. So it's fun.
Now, Jan wants to know this, and if you could give your address, that would be great too. I'm only kidding.
I'll put it up in the link below. Is
intrusive.
that what they say? I'll put it up in the link below.
Do you live close to where you were filming? That's what she wanted to know.
Janice, I can send you his exact address after the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Relatively. It's a very easy commute for me.
Oh, that's nice. So you could do a drive in and a drive out. It's not like you had to stay on location, because they're going to look for you in your hotel.
Yeah. I have many pseudonyms. You would never find me.
Oh my gosh. You know, someone was curious to know about how much like impromptu or improv is in the show. Like, is that your thing, or are you strictly like I stay to the, or do they even allow it? Stay to the script?
Heather and Alexandra, the showrunners, are, you know, another dream team, are so wonderful at giving Colton the words to express himself, and they align so closely to the words I would use. Every once in a while, I'll make a suggestion, and it's not really that I'm asking permission, but I think I would say it more like this, and it's the same thing. And they're like, yeah, do it. Because I think they see that the authenticity is going to sort of take paramount over the how close to the written word we are. Like, if the authentic feeling presents itself in a certain line differently than how it was written,
right.
it will often win. And I think that's the sign of the humility and confidence of the showrunners to recognize that what they are looking to achieve is happening if they can allow themselves to be somewhat elastic. And that kind of confidence in us as performers makes you want to the very best do the lines that are written, because you know that it's they care. You know, they're not just typing out words and then
Right.
generating spiel for you to get through. It's like, no, they're crafting this for you to say, and if you can find the authenticity in that, then that will be best. But every once in a while there's a line where you're like, or can I add another line here, or that sort of thing. I don't really, as much as I would love to improv, as much as I'd love to have a laugh on set, I often think, I'm like, geez, I think I take it too seriously. Because I recognize it's time. It's everybody on that set has somewhere else where they need to be, in a way, right?
Sure.
And so I enjoy myself on set. I have a good time on set, and I love everybody on a set. But I try not to mess up, and I try not to, be a distraction.
Right. Okay. That's good. You're good. You're a good actor. You're a good boy.
But I try to be. I try to behave. I was raised well.
Anna says, I love the relationship between Colton and Alice, and you could see the grandfather love there. And she is she's a good actress. She really is.
She's fantastic. It's not normal.
Yeah.
To be that young and already
excellent. She really is. And this is something funny. Linda is a local, and she said she could be passing you on the street if you live close. So now she's going to pay close attention. So be careful when you're on the street.
She may be the one in the store that goes, I know you, and you're trying to where she knows you from.
And this is funny. Everybody loves the flannels that Colton wears, and they want to know: did you get to keep any, or did you want to?
Did I want to? Of course I did. I mean, I often would think of trying to wear one of my flannels to work, and then leaving with one of Colton's flannels, and I was just going to slowly swap my closet out for Colton's. But again, I'm a good boy. I didn't take any. I asked, I requested, but. We may just need those flannels again.
This is true. Jillian says, it's wonderful that the people behind this particular show are so conscious and caring of the fluidity, I can't even speak, between actors and the script in order to make great art. Like we really can see it. And that's a nice thing. So she's giving a compliment to all of you.
Yeah, as everyone should be complimented. It's a team sport, and we are blessed from the top of the roster right down to the bottom that we have an incredible amount of talent involved, both in front of and behind the camera.
Cool. This has been wonderful. Thank you. We love that you took time out of your day to we can make you stay here for hours, but we're not going to do that because you have a family that needs you.
I think that we're just about ready for bed.
Dinner? Oh, bed. Okay, I'm thinking of time. Go ahead, Kathy.
I think it's a crime against humanity that you still have to audition for anything.
What's that? I'm sorry?
I think it's a crime against humanity that you still have to audition for anything.
I'll let my agent know.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that caveats, I am flattered that you would think that.
Aww.
Thank you so much. Everyone's
saying good night and thank you. And we're going to end on this one. I promise you, this is the one we're ending on. Anna's saying thank you, Grandpa Hunky.
Well, you're most welcome, Dana, and thank you so much, Roxanne and Kathy, for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you,
and congratulations on a wonderful show and being a part of it. That's We appreciate it. Like, we are so excited. And not that you want to wish your life away, but I'm like, is it Sunday yet?
Yeah.
Then I want to savor it. I don't want to rush it either.
Yeah. No, it's a, I think one of the great things about being a part of something like this is to know that you have given somebody that kind of response. It's nice to know that people are out there are that excited, and that there's 11,000 people, God bless you all, that get to have a community to discuss those exciting. I think apathy is something that can sort of eat away from our day to day. We lose interest and we become disinterested in so many things, and we're being told to pay attention to these things. And I think when you find something that is as good as this, and then you find that community around it, and the internet and everything else, it's just it creates a really nice village to be a part of. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good
Take
night.
care. Have a great rest of your evening.
Ladies, be safe.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. You too. Bye-bye. All right. So this ad thing, I cannot tell you. Listen, I want to say this. Those of you that keep telling me about the ad, it is driving me insane, and it's a distraction. So, okay, I get it. Ads are running across. I do not know why. I will have to check it out. It could be something new through the podcast. I don't know. I will fix it. But in the meantime, they're skippable, because I heard people say they're skippable. So skip them and stop telling me, because you're killing me.
If you'll excuse me,
Okay.
I have to go plots now.
That's terrible, Kathy, that you just said that.
What?
That's hilarious. Oh, gosh. Oh, I can't take it. Jefferson is an amazing guest. Thank you, Jefferson.
So is Tim, too.
Oh, no, I didn't even get to that part. And Tim is amazing guest. We got to chat with him. He is funny and hilarious, and we got to see his smile the whole time. So that just goes to show what a phenomenal actor he is, because naturally he's a fun guy, and he looks so menacing in his, in the scenes and his photos.
I call them cruel lips. He just looked mean.
I know. I love it. And
He's a charming guy.
He is, and he will be back. So got interrupted at least 3 times by ads. You can skip them after 5 seconds. Listen, Lillian, did you hear me? Was there a delay? Don't tell me about the ads anymore. All right, Kathy, I'm going to try to see. I don't even know if I can fix it while we're live, but maybe people want to use the bathroom and all that good stuff. And then we'll share this in a minute. So can you talk to them for a minute without me? Just tell everybody how much in love you were with all of that, or whatever you want to say. It's up to you. And I'm going to mute myself. Okay.
I think this episode was fabulous. I can't believe that this show keeps getting better. It's just, I think it's terrific. I hope everyone agreed. And I've even stopped trying to analyze every little thing. I'm kind of at the point now where I just kind of relaxed and enjoy the ride, and look at look for the new actors, the new characters rather, who are coming on, and what are they going to do. I mean, I love the scenes with young Elliot and Colton, and not Alice, Cat going back. And I just don't know where this show is going. It's a ride. It's quite the ride. I don't think the little boy that Cat is following is Jacob. That's just too easy. What do you guys think? I think it could be the character that we're seeing as named Jacob Jr. But yeah, and now Elliot's hearing the voices. This is getting wild, people. Yeah, other people are saying the theories are getting exhausting. I thought I would not like the whole storyline in 1814, but I'm intrigued. Like, who is this Thomas? Why is so mean? And why it seems like the women are treated very badly in this time period, because the character Susanna, she was telling Kat, if you want to, get by in this area, you need to dress up as a man. And it's like, why? So I don't, and Susanna is Elliot's ancestor, and it's quite clear that Elliot knows more than he's been telling people, because he had the journal and it was blank, which I think used to symbolize that was the end of what he knew of the past. And then he turns the page over and there's more there. I'm flummoxed. I have no idea what's going on with this show. I'm going to put some of these comments up to see what you guys are thinking. One thing I've seen is, as I'm scrolling through here, the sightings of Dell we're seeing, everyone is attributing to Dell just daydreaming about Colton. I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's quite possible, but you know, that stranger things have happened.
I'm back.
Oh, good. Okay.
You're good. And here's what I did, everyone. I shut it off totally with the ads and figure it out later. So you should be okay. So go ahead. What are you going through?
No, I
Comments?
was just saying that one of the things I said was I strongly suspect that the little boy that Kat is chasing at the end of episode 2 is not really Jacob, but possibly Jacob Jr., the character that we've heard called Jacob Jr., which brings up a whole nother set of questions. So
Ninja E is saying, I think the horse is connected to Colton. I was going to talk about that. I do too. I think somehow there's something, or that horse, because we keep seeing it, is going to maybe take Dell on an adventure. Maybe it leads her to find out who her neighbor is.
It better not be reincarnated Colton. I'm not going to have.
No, I don't think that that's happening. So before we get there, I wanted to just talk about all of before this, I said to Kathy, here's my plan. And Kathy goes, that's not going to happen. I said, excuse me, but it's my plan. And my plans always work out. No, Kathy was right. It didn't go the way I said it's going to go. So here we go now. So I wanted to just finish with the introductions real quick of the new cast members, a little bit about who they are. I know a lot of you have figured it out and some have questions. And then, and we will have them on as the season progresses. The Point General Store. This is where they had Kat down below, right? And she was being nursed and healed by a new character.
And threatened.
Pardon me?
And threatened by that fellow.
That other guy. I'm wondering what the point means, because when I saw that, I was like, is that the name of the town? But apparently not. So it's just the name of, I guess, the general store.
I actually thought that was an exclamation point. And I'm like, somebody way back then actually did an avatar or something for that sign, but I think it's just maybe a bottle of something.
Okay. Now this is Cyrus Goodwin, who is Tim plays his part. I love the story about his sideburns. That's cool. And the whole outfit. And you could see he is like the mayor, sheriff type owner of the town, as he said. And just by her comment, you could see that too. I'm glad that he says that he can also be very charming when he needs to.
Can you go back to the other one?
That's fine.
I love that. That's his real sideburns and beard, and this is the way they styled it, which actually looks a little modern to me, but okay.
And then we have here that's his family, the family crest with the G. And so, like he said, because they zero in, and we know this is definitely going to be important for later on. Then we have, this is Watson Rose, and she plays Susanna, and I loved it when she said her name, and her last name is Augustine.
She's one of Elliot's ancestors, great grandmother. I'm thinking.
Yes. Barbara, that's a cool idea. Is the general store the modern day cafe? It kind of looked like it at first to me. What did you think? Did you think
the same thing? Actually,
yes. So. And a lot of people are thinking that the G has a ship inside of it. I know. Did you notice that, Kathy?
I didn't.
Here, let's go back, because people have zeroed in and talked about it. It's not just a G. There's something in here, and it looks like it's a little boat or a ship or something. So we'll see.
What we do know is somehow it's involved in this whole mystery because the way the camera zoomed in on it.
Yes. And then here's Susanna and
Oh, Deborah's, here's a comment
yes, yes.
from Barbara. I don't know if you can see it. She says, Dell said the Goodwin. Oh, no, that's, I'm sorry. I meant this one, Deborah. There we go.
Okay.
Alice has the same ring. Did you know that?
I don't think she does. I
No?
think it's a different ring. I don't think so. And but this is important because this is true.
Mhm.
Dell said that Goodwin started the shipyard. Yes. And I think there'll be more that comes to that. And
Mhm.
Christina, you're correct. It is a crest. We know it is a crest because Tim said it was a crest, and that was about it. And yes, it was a fishing town, so that makes sense, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Susanna is a healer. And do you know what I found interesting? Didn't it look like, and I think other people saw this, didn't it look like the what she was rubbing in and helping her with? It looked to me as if it was soil of some sort. It was dark and she made some kind of a poultice. So what do you think?
They've made several references to that,
Yes.
Landry soil is special. So it
Yes.
could be related to that.
Yes. And Kimberly's saying the soil. Yes.
Mhm.
And she's an Augustine and somehow very much connected with the Landrys, who we get to meet the Landrys of 1814 next week. And as I was saying, Watson Rose will be on in a couple more, like at least I don't know if she'll be on next week, but the following, as more of her story unfolds, she'll be visiting us. So we have that to look forward to. Now, this is Chris. He is playing Thomas Coyle, and he's not really nice, is he? What do you think, Kathy?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't predict anything with this show anymore. He
Mhm.
shot her, but he strikes me as a man who knows his way around a pistol. And if he wanted to kill her, I think he would have killed her. But he just shot her in the arm. So I don't know if that was deliberate, but there could be a reason for it. I don't know.
Robin says that I love you, Robin, because I love everyone that says that I'm correct. And she says, yes, it did, Roxanne. The soil has a significance to the story for sure.
The
Thank you.
Landry soil, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. The whole farm and leasing out her land, and she's got an idea, Dell, to keep it. And I wanted to talk about that too in a minute, but I wanted to get with the finish up our new characters that were introduced. So Thomas Coyle is interesting because he was upstairs, and you could when Kat was downstairs, she could hear them talk. He was talking to Susanna, and he said, "You know, you've made that deal with your father. That's the deal with your father." So there's something going on with their relationship. I don't know exactly what the deal is, but walks around with a pistol. He's something.
Mhm.
Now, everybody saw this. There's Coyle on the name of the guitar. What do you think that is? A coincidence?
I don't think there's any such thing as a coincidence on this show.
Yes. And Mickey's and Minnie's. Listen, I think he's been promised as to her as in marriage. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking something's going on, but I'm almost wondering if she's in love with one of the Landry children, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's something, there. It's, how Augustine loves a Landry or something, and she's maybe promised him in marriage. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Catherine says, is the same pistol that Kat brought at the estate sale like the same that shot her? I think it
I
is.
think it is.
Yeah. And that was the end of my intro. Now, I do know there's another new intro, but we don't know much about him exactly other than he's a Landry. We could talk about that at the end. Maybe she will be Jacob's fiance. Maybe. Nothing in this show is coincidence. Spot on, Kathy. I think everything on the guitar is relevant and has a meaning to the show. That's what Linda's saying. What do you think that painting of Cat means in 1814? I'm not sure, but it definitely means something. I don't know.
I think it could be a connection to Jacob because
Yeah.
he was an artist. He liked to draw, so he could have done it.
But a connection to the father too, because he says my cat, like my when he's dying and he recognized her. So there is something that's going on there. Pretty cool. This is blank. It's been long, so I don't want to, it's a little over an hour. I don't want to keep everyone. I wanted to go over to here. Is that okay if I do this, Kathy, now? we do our little close up and talk about
Mhm.
that, our challenge?
Mm-hmm.
You okay? Okay. So right now it's what is the time? I can't see.
11 after the hour.
It's what time?
11 after the hour on my end.
Okay. So when it's 13 after the hour, you could tell us what this is a close up of. I think it was a little too easy, but that's okay. So when it's 13 after the hour, you can let us know in the comments, and whoever's the first person, then we'll talk about it. According to the almanac, there was a Colton in the past, but I can't remember the year. Oh, Linda, we will have to look at that. There are people that have all kinds of posts sitting and waiting to go on the news feed, and we just held them there, and a lot of people show the almanac, and that has been in our posts before, but I kept it frozen, and when it's midnight I will put everything in the post, because we're trying to protect whoever like against spoilers. And then maybe people can look at it again and see what they come up with. So we're going to come back to this last week. It was a close-up of Monica's beautiful blouse, and I love her clothes. Monica's clothes are gorgeous. Samora is a wonderful guest. We have to have her back on too. But this, I don't want to reveal what this is, but I wanted to say that I did a recipe, because I always do a recipe for every episode, and I made homemade butter, and it almost looks fake because it's whipped. So it's all whipped on my favorite piece of bread. I don't know if anybody else tried it, but it's connected to this right here. Blown up version of whatever when it's 13 after. It is 13 after. Let's see.
Wendy.
Who is it?
Wendy.
Wendy. Where are you, Wendy? Last week, Nora Snow. Is that what is it? I'm Nora, or is it Norma? Don't be insulted by me. I have lots of names I have to remember, and I'm still learning them. She won, and I sent her a notebook so she could take notes of the show. And on the cover was a gorgeous pond, like the pond in the show. And this time around, I can't wait to send the prize out. Who is it? Wendy? Where is Wendy? Right there. You highlight.
Yep.
All right. Yes. Through the Looking Glass. It's the cover of the book that Alice is holding. There she is, right there. She's holding it. This book, if you listen to the song, that they'd even made a play of it, and this book is about how when you look, everything is upside down. Find that interesting, that that's the next book that they want her to be focusing on and reading in the story. So things are turned upside down. So maybe they aren't as you think they are. Maybe could it be a metaphor for that?
Mm-hmm.
There was bread and butter was mentioned several times, and that's why I did the bread and butter.
I can't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was thinking that.
Excuse me.
They are getting a bit cavalier about going into this pond.
I know.
Not knowing. I mean, Jacob disappeared.
Yes. Why?
And so
yes.
I'm going to go back. And Alice is like, okay, be careful. It just seems it's a tad unrealistic to me that they've gotten so casual about it.
It's almost like an addiction.
Knowing that the pond can be kind of, it pulled Alice away. It has a mind of its own.
But do you know what? I think now that they're learning that, and I love when I cry. I watch it the third time and I cried every time. The emotion for me radiated off the screen. I love when they both finally go back from the past and they come back up together and they see each other, and she is like, he's alive. And she's also so happy that her daughter's okay. And she was shot and all those emotions. And look at Kyler Lee, like she's crying, holding her. And then here she's actually covering her mouth and she's crying. And I'm like, she's like into that moment. Like I cried.
Yeah.
It was good.
She's what we call ugly crying. She's really into it. She's not acting,
Yes. She ugly cried when her father died in her arms. Remember? Oh gosh.
But here's the thing. Oh, Jacob's alive. He's fine. Isn't that what she thought when she went back to the past and dropped him off at home?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're starting to make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Just, and she must not have really believed it because she felt the need to go back.
She's going to go back, but she knew that she couldn't just go. She had to sort of, it killed her to leave. I saw that. And it killed her to leave because now she really needs to, it's like, I'm thinking, why wouldn't you just go around the woods and get back in? But I think she needs to make sure her daughter's okay because Alice is missing too.
Right. But, and here's my other big thought. Every scene that Alice did about going to visit her dad could have been done on a phone, just her talking allegedly to her dad on the line. So there must be a reason we're seeing Brady in those scenes. And he's always by himself. He's never with the girlfriend that, moved in.
We never saw yet. Who is she?
We've never seen yet. So what purpose does Brady serve? And again, I don't believe there are coincidences. I don't believe anything is just incidental on this show. He's there for a reason. And I personally think it's going to end up having something to do with Alice's parentage. That's just my guess.
Okay, you've said that all along. Wendy, make sure you send me, you contact me through my email, which is my last name, Durensis, my first name, Roxanne. And and I was going to type it in, but.
She's busy with her buttery sandwich.
No, I don't have anything. If you can't figure it out, just message me on our Facebook and I will tell you my email. And then I will be sending your prize along the way. This Kathy, she said the Kat and Elliot scene was intense.
It's always intense with them, yeah.
Yeah, but those are not Hallmark kisses, okay? Those are like wooey kisses, those two. I mean, that's like deliciousness. I love it. I think Jillian says, where's Jillian? Jillian says she, Kathy, I wanted Kat and Elliot to kiss. Listen, Jillian is going to be my guest this Sunday coming up. I think so. It's this Sunday. And I don't even know who I am at this point. I had a long day, people. Okay. A long day. She wrote a beautiful book called The Art of Catching Lightning Bugs. And it's beautiful. And if you haven't read it, I want you to go onto Amazon and read it and go grab it. Get it now. You could get it digitally and physical. I did both. I have the physical book and I did it digitally. And then we're going to have a talk on Sunday at 7:30 Eastern time. And we're going to have a book talk and we're going to talk all about the book. And I have a couple of things that along the way this week that I'll be posting about it. It's amazing. And I know I'm giving a spoiler here. One of my favorite things about the book, this is just one, is that it is beautifully written. It is grammatically beautiful. And just the language and the description you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You must read it. And join us for the book talk because I will be giving away some cool things too during the book talk. Jillian doesn't know. And also, this is important. It's really good and you should read it. Please. Okay.
Back to the name is again.
Programming.
I was asking for the title of the book again.
Oh, I'm going to put it right in the chat. The Art of Catching Lightning Bugs. And I spelled lightning wrong. L-I-G-H-T. I don't know. L-I-G. Oh, I have an N in there that doesn't belong. It's really good. Buy it. Read it. Join us. Even if you can't read the whole thing because you're just getting it now, join us anyway. And Jillian, I want you to tell me who you think, if this turned into a movie, who would play those parts? That's one of my questions I want to know. Oh, yes. And Chris read it. I gave it away to many people. Chris read it and she said it needs a sequel. Oh. Yes. Yes. Okay. Back to our regular programming. We're talking about, what is it? They are amazing together. Good, bad, or ugly scenes. Kat and Elliot are amazing in all scenes. All comes down to great acting with Kyler and Evan. It does. They're perfect. They're perfect. They are. Okay. This is a new character and he must be a Landry, right? What do you think, Kathy?
I thought he might be.
Mm-hmm. And we're not spoiling anything that we can't spoil. This is released by Hallmark. Hallmark says, Hallmark. This character says to her, I thought that somebody would one day come for him. That just says to me, this is my thinking, that Jacob, her brother, was somehow, in the pond and sent back to here. They kind of knew that somebody, not that they knew he came through the pond, but somebody would eventually come for him because it was a child that they just happened to find, not realizing that he's actually a descendant of theirs. I don't know. What do you think?
I think this guy's going to turn out to be Jacob Landry. That's his name.
Jacob Landry, her brother?
No, Jacob Landry, the ancestor.
Okay, yes.
Jacob, her brother Jacob got named after. I don't know.
Okay. He probably said his name was Jacob Landry, so he was talking to him, talking to them since that is their last name and they raised him. Okay. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Just looking forward to Sunday.
I know. I am too. We talked about the soil. We talked about all this good stuff. Let's remove that so we could see our beautiful selves. Let's remove this. And here we are. Here we are. Kathy, smile for the camera. How do you feel?
Frozen.
You are frozen and your smile is frozen. It's perfect. It just turned out perfect on my end. You're all frozen and perfect. I love it. So I loved here you are. I loved our guests tonight. They were fabulous. They really were. Yeah. Alrighty. Any other questions that we want to address before we go? No? I'm thinking, I was going to say boys and girls, friends. If you're on the Facebook page, again, remember that we do not post any spoilers. You go into the chat. Some people, very few, can't get into the chat because of Facebook reasons, not us. And you have to wait. If you post and you want to put stuff in the news feed, then we will post, but you got to wait till midnight tonight. Okay? Yes, no show will be on the 11th. Because of Super Bowl, I think, right? Is that why?
I have no idea what I think of it all as sports ball. I have no idea.
Yeah. What's Jen saying? Here's a ha-ha. Have you ever heard of the song, I'm My Own Grandpa? Maybe someone who decided to use that as a basis for the show. That was a terrible sound that came out of me. Paula. Hi, Paula. Oh, I missed you.
Are you chewing?
I am. I'm done chewing. I'm sorry.
Good Lord.
I'm rude. I choked almost. This is what I get when I do that. Terrible. I'm a terrible host. Sorry. All right. All right. Thank you, friends.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Yes. Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you. We appreciate you for joining us and making it fun.